On The Beat. My bro just hit a collaboration with Timberland.
My phone is still buzzing in my pocket. I'm an immigrant's mentality. Music is a hobby. It's not a career. But then I wanted it so bad that I just stuck it out.
Have you ever forced yourself to make music that you don't like?
In the past, yeah. I was the yes man of the century, man. I'm the guy that before you even finish the sentence of like, can we? I'll be like, yeah.
Have you ever had an instance where you and an artist haven't agreed
all the time? Me and my boy Sam V, sometimes I'll be producing and be like, oh, I can hear this, and he'll sing it, and I'll be like, oh, I don't reckon, and he'll be like, I reckon. I love that because, man, there's not many people that just straight up with me like that.
How does it feel, bro, getting your flowers finally after all this time?
I've grinded 14 years to be where I am at now, and it feels so good. Not the destination, but that whole journey is so fulfilling.
How has your experience been getting into the music scene here in New Zealand?
That's a real interesting question. I feel like...
Kia ora everyone, Zach and Jake here from The Martin Show. Just a friendly reminder to please subscribe to our channel. It helps the channel more than you know, and it gives us more opportunity to be able to bring great guests.
We appreciate all the love we have received in 2024. 2025 is going to be a massive year. Enjoy all the episodes coming up, whānau. Macha aroha.
To the moon.
Edy On The Beat, bro. Edwin Lou, welcome to the show, brother.
Yo, shut, bro.
Look at that, what a start. My bro just had the craziest news.
Yeah, bro.
A collab with Timberland is crazy.
Bro, nah, that was hectic.
Nah, brother, but before we dive in, what do we need to know about you, bro? To know a little bit more about who you are in the life you've lived.
Yeah. I teach at Avondale College. I'm a high school teacher, part-time, by choice. Like, fuck, people ask me all the time, they're like, why do you teach? I'm like, fuck, because I enjoy it. And it's like what I said before with the 80-20 rule. It's like, out of all your actions, only 20% of it amounts to something. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty proud to say that like most of the time, like 90% of the time, I'm doing what I want to do. And then, you know, if 20% of that amounts to something, I'm like pretty content. Yeah, like life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, bro, living life by design, eh?
Yeah, and it takes a while to like kind of build it, design it. But once you have it, it's like, I think that's where most people actually get trapped in like now I need more. Mm-hmm. That's like the natural instinct, because there's a tiny speck in my brain that's like, okay, now we need to hit 1 million. When I hit 100K, I was like, now I need to hit. But then I sit back and I'm like, you know what? Life is fucking great. I don't need anything more. But if it happens, it happens.
Do you feel like you've always possessed that gratitude mindset though?
Nah. As a kid, all I craved was like acknowledgement and like, I don't know, you know, like people acknowledging, because I was kind of just like a mid student.
Yeah.
So like everybody would get like awards and shit. I might get like a music thing, but like, yeah, nothing like, yeah. So I've always wanted to do heaps of shit. But I never really knew what to do apart from music. So I just kept trying different shit. And then in high school, they had those big triangle, those old Macs.
Oh, yeah,
the colorful ones.
Yeah.
And the seniors were like making beats on GarageBand and shit. And they would be like, yo, because I played the keys in and I was like an orchestra and shit. They're like, Edy, go come play some chords. And then I was like, fuck, this is fun. Because it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come in and then just wing it. And I just loved it. I just loved the idea of like, here's 4 beats and then you just play whatever as long as it works. Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys ever listened to like Ryan Leslie back in the day. He used to make these videos like making songs in the studio. And then I used to just rinse those videos and it just shows him like layering bits and pieces, piece by piece. And then I started trying to replicate that. And that's basically how I got started. And then I was like begging for a fucking Mac for Christmas. Big ask, fuck. Which I was just fortunate and lucky, grateful forever for sure. And yeah, just made beats every day.
Yeah.
But definitely had like my breaks and stuff, like took time away from music and just like watch TV shows and shit as a kid. So you don't really know what to do. But as as the years go over, it's like mostly just consistency. Like I never quit music. I was kind of just like took little gaps and breaks here and there.
Wow. Bro, there's so much to go from then.
There's so
Yeah,
so
yeah. That's crazy, bro. Because you mentioned when you were younger, all you wanted to be was acknowledged.
yeah.
Like, talk to me about that.
It goes deep.
Yeah, bro. Like that stuck with me, bro.
No, I think that it's just the cultural difference because I'm an immigrant. Parents moved here when I was like 2, and I think in Asian culture it's very much like, man, the parents provide everything, and they show a lot of love through action and like support, like actual support. Whereas like, what is it worth when a parent says something and then doesn't act on it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Like, there's so much of that. Whereas in my life, it was always actions and things were done for me, and I was brought up in a very different way in the sense that, like, I don't know, I guess in Western culture, love and like expression is very verbal, whereas in my culture, it's very just action based. So then I'm like, fuck, I feel like I don't hear it then, but I hear all the other kids hear it. But then it's like, I don't know, then it's like, fuck, but my parents are doing all this stuff and this is making my life like really, really pleasurable. So, you know, like so grateful for that.
Showing
but it was
you,
just a
showing
difference.
you.
It was just a
Yeah.
difference in culture. And because of that, I was always craving like, fuck, I just want someone to be like, yo, you're the fucking man, G. You know, which is buzzy, going fucking deep as, but
No.
but it's just the cultural difference. And then, so I think I work really hard to, in the initial stages, because I craved that always, and it was like a burning hunger. But I don't know, I feel like I grew out of it. I feel like at the end of everything, you're kind of just like, fuck, everybody's just living life and doing what they want to do anyway. So, you know, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, it doesn't really matter what people say or do.
Yeah.
As long as you're enjoying it and you have people around you like that share the same values and support your shit and you support their shit, and you come together and support each other's shit.
Yeah, cuz. Welcome to the Martin Show first ad break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get to mahi, eh? No, that's a hustler's mentality right there.
Yeah.
And so you've possessed that from an early age.
A lot of people thought that, I don't know, I just was always grew up in like in a good condition. But like for immigrants, man, I think my parents came here with like $10,000 and that's it. Which is crazy because it's like, man, imagine going to a different country on the other side of the world with 10K and then the rest is up to you. No backup, nothing. You have a whole family, you have a kid, you have a 2-year-old, I was 2 years old, and then you just have to figure out whatever the fuck afterwards. Yeah, so, you know, like the first, and then the cool thing is I saw my parents kind of from the, quite literally like started from the bottom and then they just worked. And I feel like I inherited that for sure because I'm like, I see they were like a demonstration of like what hard work can achieve. And it's like, you know, you got to contextualize it. But yeah, it's like, I know that hard work can deliver results. So I always see it as, you know, just do what I can. And it doesn't feel like work for me because music is just, honestly, it doesn't feel like work. Just like this part doesn't feel like work for you, right? You just having a yarn, like we're just chatting. And when I'm making music, it just feels like I'm in that music room at school with the seniors and just jamming. And it's just whatever comes out of my brain comes out of my brain. But then it is exhausting because you get home and you're like, fuck, all these endorphins, all this dopamine, trying to calm your brain down. And then like, especially during school, because right now it's school holidays. That's why I'm like doing so much now. But especially during school, it's like, man, I'm going to bed knowing I have to get up at 7 a.m. to get to school.
Yeah, bro.
So then if I pull the 4 a.m., man, I'm like 3 hours smashing back coffees in the morning. And then, you know, and then rocking up to school. There was actually one time a few weeks ago where I rocked up to school like Far out. I think I was like 20 minutes late to my class. I just slipped through my alarm because I did a 4 a.m.
Yeah, bro.
But my team at school is so like supportive, and they'll just be like, "Yo, I already knew what was up," and I was like, "That's mean," and they just had my back. But then it's funny as fuck because I always give my students shit for being late. I'd be like, "Hey, the expectation is that we respect each other's time. I'm always gonna be here, and you're always gonna be here, and I'm gonna give you everything that I got so that you can leave school knowing that there's a career in music if you want it." You know? Yeah. And then here's me walking in 20 minutes fucking late. Everybody's fucking laughing. The kids from the other classes, the seniors from the other classes are fucking laughing. They're like, "Sir, you look like you just woke up." Fine.
Bit of a hypocrite, eh?
Yeah, fuck bro, so I can't give them shit for being late ever again because they'll always remember, they'll be like, "But sir, you remember that one time?"
Yeah. So you found music back in high school. Do you still remember the first time you were, I don't know, having a jam yourself and in a studio maybe? You still remember those like earlier days?
Bro, I don't think I was ever in a studio. It was always my bedroom. It was always my bedroom until uni. So I probably started making beats when I was 14. And then it wasn't until maybe I was 19 and I went into uni and they had like studios downstairs at Auckland Uni on Shortland Street, this big brick building. And I would just be in there all the time because you have a swipe card. And I think that locks every night at like midnight or something, or 11 or something like that. Every night I'd be in there until basically like 5 minutes before fucking run upstairs, get out the door before fucking alarms and shit and locks us in. Yeah, and those are probably and that's not even like a proper studio. It's like pretty decent. Yeah, but then studio, probably not till after that. Yeah, like so my whole life pretty much just been inside my room.
Trenches, eh?
Trenches, yeah. But then you realize today we have technology that like honestly, like even especially to my students, I'm always like, bro, all you need is like a device. You got BandLab on phones now. I've like reviewed songs on my lives where people mix everything on their phones and it sounds just as good as if someone did it on their laptops. And I couldn't replicate that because, man, using a phone to do that is crazy. Yeah, so that was something. And so I'm always like to my students, I'm like, you need headphones and a device. And that's pretty much all you need. You have no excuses. Like I've seen it with my eyes, people making songs on BandLab on their phones. So this is not a sponsorship, by the way.
Wait, bro, so the term is mix engineer though, right? Mix engineer?
Mix engineer is one of the things that I do. So mix engineer is like when the song's done and it needs tidying up, that's when the mixing comes in. But other than that, it's like everything before that is producing. Yeah. So producing is basically like if you think about a video producer or whatever, it's just someone that makes sure everything's happening and making some of the big decisions on the song. It's kind of like a video director actually. It's like a director producer role where you direct everybody, you kind of guide them in the right direction. I think a lot of producers get and beat makers get kind of misinterpreted, but also it's like if you're making something, if you're creating something, you're producing something, right? So I guess like anybody that creates anything is a producer of some sort.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, but like in the traditional way, like a music producer is someone that guides the song to the finish line. And so yeah, I do that. I feel like I do that more than I do mixing now. Whereas like before all the social media stuff, I was mixing a lot more than I was producing because with producing, you make the song and then maybe in a few months or a few years, sometimes the song comes out and then you get paid.
Wow.
Whereas mixing, you get paid a fee and you mix a song. So it's like, that's your daily bread. that wasn't a sponsorship either.
My bro, creative, all right. Wow. In the music space, mix engineers, do you feel like they get enough credit? Because I like, from the outside looking in, I feel like the artists get a lot of the praise. How is it inside?
I think it depends on the producer because some producers, like my flatmate, you know that Blue Eyed Maori song?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he worked on that, and and that was like the longest #1 in New Zealand for ages, or something like that. It was like crazy, but he's not like a frontline guy. He prefers to be like in the background and doing his thing. He doesn't like chaos. I feel like I thrive in chaos. I feel like my whole life is chaos.
Yeah, bro.
But it's like I feel like it's to my benefit, mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on the person. Some people are introverted. I was kind of introverted, but then I forced myself to be an extrovert. And I forced myself to talk to people until it became more comfortable. And I think being a teacher helps because I have to talk to kids every day. And fuck, it's like, especially day one of school, and when you talk to like a whole class, it's kind of orkies a little bit. You know, you're like, fuck, what do I say? These guys probably think I'm eat ass. And then you just have to put it on, bro. All right, guys, this is what we're gonna do today. This is what we're doing this term. And then if you guys have any, you know, and then just put it on. And when you put it on and you believe it, they believe it too.
That's crazy. Talk to me about like your week to week. Let's say school's on.
Yo.
You know what I mean? So you got Monday to Friday, you got school, you got
Yo.
mahi. That's your 9 to 3 or whatever. I don't know what the times of school these days. And then post school, after school, you're in the studio or in the morning off.
Okay.
How does that look?
Yeah, so day in the life.
Yeah, day
would
in the
probably
life.
be
Let's
like,
go.
man, it's buzzy because the school roster changes. So for example, Monday I might teach periods 3, 4, and 5, and then Tuesday will be like 2, 3, and 4, and then Wednesdays will be like 1, 2, and 3. So it rotates. So every day is different for me, which is hectic because then I have to plan my time around that every day. And so like, I don't know, Mondays I know I got band, like I take 2 bands for school as well. And so I know Monday after school I have senior band. So then really I'm only free after like 6. And then I'll try to go to the gym and then I'll do a session. So then, you know, I don't know, like maybe wake up. I think I start school at 11 on Mondays. So then I'll wake up maybe at like 10 because Sunday I'll probably be doing a session. And if I don't, sometimes I try to do those 6 a.m. Les Mills classes.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. And then so if I do that, I try to force myself, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So ideally, I do gym in the morning, go to school, finish school, go for a run. I used to do this thing. I think I did it for like over 200 days where I did 3Ks and a gym sesh every day and didn't skip at all. And that's how I got fit, is I just forced myself to. Because I watched like the summary of like this book, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, bro.
And it's like basically explaining like if a plane flew from here to like the other side of the world and the pilot decided to change the trajectory by like 1 degree, you'll end up in a whole different place. And so I was like, what's a manageable thing I can do? I can make like 3Ks isn't that long. It's like 15 minutes, you know? So I'm like, I spend 15 minutes doom scrolling all the time. I'll just go for a run instead. And I was like, I'm going to run 3Ks every day, no matter what. That's how it started. And then I joined Les Mills because of the sauna, because I was like going City Fitness and then paying to go to the sauna in Newmarket. And I was like, fuck, this is actually going to cost more than if I just sign up to Les Mills. So I signed up to Les Mills. And then I was like, oh, they do classes. And then I was kind of like apprehensive at first, but then I was like, I'll try it, bro. Those classes are intense, bro. But now it's just like, it's just norms. Because I started doing classes every day, ceremony, wake up, bro, crazy. Yeah, got fit and then, yeah, so I'll do that, go to school. And I try to tick 3 boxes every day. Something physical, something social, and something career. And as long as I tick, because like life, when people do too much of the same thing, it becomes monotonous. And you start getting like depressed and not knowing why, because you're like, it's like if you looked at the same color every day and just one color, you get sick of the color. You know, like if life was in black and white, it's just lacking the vibrancy, you know? Yeah. So then it's like, how do you make more vibrancy? Do more things. So then those 3 things are like the minimum, you know? I either hang out with my family or see my friends, and my friends will always know I'll be like up to, and they already know it's like, I need socializing.
Get my social battery going.
Yeah, exactly. Social battery. And then I'll be like, okay, now I need to go for a run, something physical. Now I need to do something music. Fuck, it could be something simple like I don't know, maybe I'm playing the keys for a bit. If I don't feel like making the song, sometimes that's a thing. Otherwise, I'm like listening to music like intentionally, like because it's hard as a musician because I'm always making music. It's hard to find time to listen to music that's not music that I made because I'm always analyzing.
Yeah, bro.
But I've made it like an intentional thing. Like Spotify has pretty cool algorithms where it'll like recommend me things. And then like my friends will have cool music tastes as well that are a little bit different to mine. And then I'll always discover new music. So then, yeah, something musical. I'm either listening to music, making music, or playing music, or doing something that helps my career. So maybe I'm replying to emails, doing admin. It could be anything, you know, but just ticking those 3 boxes really help.
Because it's keeping it diverse as well, right? It's keeping things exciting. I feel like when it's repetitive, that's when we can get kind of stagnant in our mahi.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And then, you know, by the time I tick those 3 things off, the day's already over. And it's crazy because I literally feel like life is happening way too fast right now. Just in the way that like, man, I can't believe a whole term of school is done. Because I took 2 years away from teaching to go. I went like LA 3 times, went Oz a bunch of times, and then came back. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to do a bit of teaching for the variety. And because, I don't know, my mom's a teacher, my mom's a teacher. I feel like I have a natural kind of instinct for it. Like a lot of people do a lot of planning, but I'll kind of make 3 bullet points in my mind of what needs to be achieved in the lesson. And I know when the deadlines are. So I kind of just like have the 3 things in my head and then just wing it. And I plan, like, I'm not like fully winging
not
it.
prepared.
Like I have it all prepared beforehand, but it's like, I don't plan out what I'm going to say and every 5 minutes what we're going to do, you know? I kind of just, because everything in the classroom is so like, it depends on the kids. Sometimes kids are away, sometimes kids act out. So you just have to kind of react and adapt. And it kind of feels like studio in a way. It's like, you never know what kind of music you're going to make. And it's just, it keeps life so interesting, eh? Because every day I wake up and I don't know what's going to happen. And it's like, fuck, imagine how depressing it would be waking up every day and just living a loop, the same loop, until you're 65, you retire and then you die, right? Whereas like, yeah, you wake up every day, what's going to happen? I know that I'm going to do something physical, something career focused, and something social. And then the rest is up to life. And that's like a cool way to just, I don't know. I feel it works for me. It might not work for everybody. It works for my brain. Yeah, my brain just always on.
No, I love it, brother. That's great advice. I want to go to, I guess, more of the music journey. How has your experience been getting into the music scene here in New Zealand?
That's a real interesting question. I feel like, again, when I was younger, I craved acknowledgement and I just never fucking got it. Especially not from the music industry. But also I was whack. Like I've made whack beats until probably only a few years ago. Whereas fuck, now I see kids making dope beats at 14 and I'm like, that's not fair. I grinded for 10 years to get there. Because samples, like you couldn't just get whatever sound you want. You can't just AI like steal drums from wherever now. Now you can. I like that song from Missy Elliott. I'm going to steal those. Like you could literally just AI take the drums out and use, you could literally just AI whatever. Whereas it was a lot harder back in my day. Back in our day. Wait, how old are you, bro?
I'm 26, brother.
Oh, crazy.
How about you?
Bro, you're young, man.
No.
Oh, I'm only 2 years older than you.
Yeah, see?
We're still young. We're still young.
Yeah, our day.
I have some young fucking artist friends and songwriter friends, and they always make jokes about me being old.
Yeah, I feel that.
Bro, right? But,
well, since then, bro, you've worked with some of the biggest names to come out of NZ.
all of that happened. Like I've been making music since I was 14. I'm 28. Oh, 28 this Sunday. And man, only in the past 4 months, all of this happened.
Wow.
So
So it's only in the last 4 months you've got that acknowledgement that you've been craving.
Well, kind of. I'm not going to say I've never been acknowledged before that. I definitely feel like since maybe like, I want to say like 2020 onwards after COVID, I don't know, I feel like I started getting better at what I did.
Yeah, bro.
I think COVID, I'd spent a lot of time doing music because, you know, I had nothing else to do. And then after that, it was like, there was definitely some acknowledgement, but not on this scale. Like the past 4 months have actually just been crazy. Like I would have never even imagined my life being this way. It's just real buzzy, eh?
How does it feel, bro? Getting your flowers finally after all this time.
Now it actually doesn't really affect me that much. Like I'm grateful, but I'm content. And like, yeah, it's like all these things happening. It's like they're good, but I was also happy before that.
Wow.
And I'm happy the way things are now. And if it stays this way, I'll be grateful because it's all about sustainability in this career. There's so many people, so many acts that drop off and lose consistency. And then this is very disheartening, right? But it's like to be able to kind of hold something consistently, I'll just be grateful for. So if things stay this way forever, like I have a roof over my head, I'm like, you know, got friends that I love, family that I love, a career that I love, like what else could you want? You know what I mean? And it's easy to fall into the trap of like, now I need this, now I need that. And you know, there's a bit of our brain that'll always do that because we're human. We're only human. You know, how have we been able to develop the way we have today is because of that. You know, it's like we had those telephones, the landlines, like Thomas Edison, you know, got the telephone going, and then someone's like, now we need an iPhone.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, now we need an iPhone 17. Do you know what I mean? Like now we need iPhone and we need to combine them with AI. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna keep going, and people just naturally, that's just how we are as humans because that's how we've come to where we have.
Evolved.
The reason we can do this right now is because someone was like, hey, you know, World War II, we had like ways to talk to each other. Let's make these things so that people can record each other. You know what I mean? Like, because they had the thing and they're like, now we need more. But then, I don't know, having a healthy amount of that and then realizing that, you know, sometimes this is enough. But also just everybody's different, eh? This is just for me. This is just my mindset. And it's easier to spiral out if I don't think like that. Because then it's easier to start getting self-conscious, start being like, oh, what do I need now? It's like nothing. Don't need anything. I just need to do what I want to do every day and be happy and grateful.
Yeah, bro. I always I'm in such a predicament with this because it's like navigating the desire for more, like wanting more while being content with what you have.
Because
right?
you've won a fight, right? If you win a fight, you're gonna be like chasing, because you would have gotten the biggest rush from winning that fight, and you'll be like, whatever that fucking feeling is, I need that again, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So then you go into the next fight, like, and then let's say you win that fight, but it's slightly less exciting. It feels, you're like, that sucks. Even though you still won, maybe a fight you do a knockout and the next fight you just won by unanimous. Even that, because that second sensation was less like intense than the first one, it almost feels like a fail because it wasn't as good, right? And then let's say far out, if you lose a fight, man, that feeling must suck even more because then you're comparing all these sensations. But then I feel like realizing that those are just chemicals in our brains making us feel that way. And then all these chemicals will come and they'll go.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get hooked on these chemicals, basically like natural drugs in our brain, you know?
Yeah, bro.
But realizing that they all come and go, I feel like is so important. And then so you're not chasing the next high and being like, that felt pretty good, but this feeling's gonna go away. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother.
And then that way, when you go into a fight, you're going in with the right mindset, not for another high, but to enjoy what you love doing, which is like getting in the ring, right?
Yeah, and you can convert that fighting in the ring, but you can also fighting in life as well. You can do it in everything.
Exactly. And it's like so many people would probably want to be in the position you're in as well. And it's like, man, just realizing that it's like it naturally makes you feel a little like grateful for everything. And then you just kind of roll with it. Yeah.
It's such an important lesson, bro. I love it. And I think the earlier you can sort of come to it, the better.
It's the people that I'm surrounded by that feed me all this wisdom, and I'm a very, very strong believer in like growth and learning. So I've always made it my mission. It's like no matter where I am, I'm the same guy. You can talk to me the same way. I always rock up if I have time. Like, adult life is adult life. Like shit happens and you gotta deal with things. But for the most part, I just want to be the same guy for everyone. All my friends, especially, because we're all human, bro. And it's like no matter, bro, if TikTok and Instagram disappeared tomorrow, I'm still gonna just be doing the same thing I'm already doing. I'm just gonna be making music. Hopefully Spotify is still there.
80-20, baby.
Because, bro, like, man, you know how the US banned TikTok for a bit? Bro, imagine that, like being and you put your whole life into TikTok and that disappears overnight. Like, that's hectic.
That's your identity.
Yeah, but it's a mindset. Like, if
is.
you put your whole chip in that basket, you're setting yourself up to be in a position, like a really vulnerable position where it's like, my life is over. It's like, no, it isn't. The sky's still there. You could still go to the park. You could still dribble the ball. You know what I mean? Like life isn't in the screen. It's just like, that's just the thing we do. Yeah. And then it's like the acknowledgement is cool, but that will come and that'll go. Because once people have seen the video, they're going to move on to the next video. And that's just the way it is. And that's fine.
30 minutes ago, probably a little bit longer, my bro just had a collaboration with Timberland and he's spitting this with him right now.
My phone is still buzzing in my pocket
he's saying
every
it and
10
he
seconds.
means it. He means it because he just had one of probably the biggest collabs in his life recently. And he's saying it like that. It comes and it goes.
It goes, yeah. Like it was cool and I appreciate it and I'm grateful, but I'm content, And if that never happens again, that was a really cool memory and a really cool moment, and I'll remember it forever. But I'm not craving the next time. I'm not craving the validation from, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and if it happens, it happens. Because I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface of whatever I'm doing. Because, like I said, like everything's happened since January, and it's barely April. Oh, it's April now. Yeah, fuck. It's like halfway through April, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I literally feel like I'm a newbie still. I'm like still learning how to stream. Like I'm still working out how to do my split screen, getting the best audio, getting the best connection. I only just figured out how to get my iPhone as a webcam wirelessly in the booth.
Still learning.
I'm still learning. I still don't know what. So like people ask me in the chat and they're like, how'd you do this? I don't fucking know. I'm just trying shit. And you should try shit too. Like fuck. Instead of asking, just try. And then it's like YouTube's a huge free library where you can dig from. And it's like you just pick and choose what you want. But like sometimes you just got to try it. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm trying shit every day. When I'm making music, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm just saying whatever my brain's, like the first thing that comes to my head. Like sometimes someone will sing something, I'll be like, oh, I can hear this now. And it's just bouncing. But quite literally, every time I do a session, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I'll sit there just kind of being like, yo, what do you feel like jamming today? And then we'll listen to some music and I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then, maybe like 10 minutes in, there'll be like and then fuck, everything just moves from there. Just like one idea to another, and my brain just goes crazy.
Now we're bouncing.
Yeah, and then like it almost feels like a blackout for like 30 minutes, and then the whole fucking idea's there, and then yeah, so it's pretty buzzy. It's like I'm either just like, what the fuck am I up to, and then it's like, oh my god, I can hear this, I can hear that. There's no midpoint. It's just either like there's nothing or there's fucking everything.
So content of where we are, but if we were to dream, who would be like the dream artist that you'd love to work with?
Man, there's so many. I love Queen Naija. I've always loved Kiana Lede. Alex Eiley, her, SZA. Like I love female R&B. That's just what I like to listen to. It's just like, I don't know, it's so soothing to listen to, It's like getting a lullaby.
Yeah.
Just in my ears all the time. So I've always loved that. I know that market is a little saturated now, but not in New Zealand,
Yo.
you know? And man, these upcoming artists like Elena, Jasmine, Juga, yeah, those two girls I've been working with really closely lately, like Michaela as well.
Yep.
Man, these guys are all in their late teens / early 20s and like sing incredibly. There's Sanaya from the Te Matatini. Like me and her were making music like maybe like 2 years ago now. We went to LA together. And then this is way before that Te Matatini video blew up.
Bro.
And then I'm like, oh, let's keep making music then. You know, like
wow, things just happen. And now look at her.
yeah, and she's all the way in Nelson, you know. So I don't know, people complain about being in a small town and not like making moves or whatever. But then you know, I don't know, there's like Sick Drums, Rory Noble, like a bunch of other producers, and they're all from like small towns. Joseph Boyden, like all these guys are from small towns where you look out the windows, there's cows.
No excuses, eh?
Nah, it's like, man, it's if they can do it, like there's no excuses. You could do it anywhere. It's just doing something. Something's better than nothing, right? If you do nothing, you're guaranteed no outcomes. But if you do something, 20% of that will amount to something.
Brother, have you ever had an instance where you and an artist haven't agreed on like the
All the
sound?
time.
Yeah, does it happen?
Me and my
quite a
boy
lot?
Sam V, we've been working together for like 11, 12 years now. A long time. And me and him, it's fucking funny because we both like doing stacks. And he's an incredible singer. And actually, I feel like we influence each other, but definitely more so him to me. Like I get inspired and influenced by him. He's probably one of the best vocalists I know. But fuck, sometimes I'll be producing and be like, oh, I can hear this. And he'll sing it. And I'll be like, oh, I don't reckon. And he'll be like, I reckon. I'll be like, okay. But I love that because man, there's not many people that fucking are just straight up with me like that. And it's, you know, I'd rather that than someone just going along, be like, yeah, okay, but actually not meaning it. Yeah, and then sometimes we'll be recording and I'll be like, I reckon that harmony doesn't work. And he'll be like, I reckon it does. And then he'll just look at me and I'll be like, okay, let's do it. You know, it's a little bit, it throws me off a little bit sometimes because I'm not used to it. Because most of the time it's like I sing the harmony, people just do it. But with him, it's really cool to have that second voice, and I trust him wholeheartedly, you know? Like I know it, bro, like fuck, he's so consistent. Like everything that he's written, that he writes, everything that he sings just sounds like gold. So whatever harmony, I'm like, maybe it doesn't sound right now, but maybe once he does all his ideas, it'll sound great and it'll piece together. And sure enough, it does. You know, so yeah, it's funny. Me and him clash a lot, actually. Sometimes, I'll just do stuff. He'll be like, nah, I reckon do this. I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. You know, and that's the spirit of collaborating. It's like, what's collaboration if it's just my ideas? You know, and you know, it's not a typical thing when someone starts throwing in musical ideas, especially vocalists, and you know, but he's got cool ideas, and he fucking brings all of those to the table. And I always appreciate it, you know, even though in the moment I'm like, eh?
Shout out Sam V, man. Have you ever forced yourself to make music that you don't like
All
or
the time.
you don't believe in?
Oh, not all the time now, but in the past, yeah. Because when you're grinding, you just say yes to everything. Fuck, I was the yes man of the century, man. I was like, I'm the guy that before you even finish the sentence of like, can we? I'll be like, yep. I'll just do it. And because that's how bad I wanted it. It's like my whole life, especially like immigrants mentality, music is a hobby. It's not a career. It's impossible. That's what it felt like growing up. It's just a hobby. It's not a career. But then I wanted it so bad that I just stuck it out. Like the guy who got me into music, I don't know if you know Donnell Lewis.
Yeah, bro.
But the first time I met him, I was 17, and we had a mutual friend, and he was like, oh, yo, I think I can get a verse from Donnie. And then he's like, oh, he said to come over. And then I came, we got to his crib, up in, back in those days, he was posted up in like near the city. near Newton Road and stuff, where Woodcut Studios is. And man, he was in a bathrobe because he had just gotten out of the shower. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, and I was like a fan. I was like, "Oh my God, that's Donnell Lewis." And fuck, that guy gave me so many like people to work with, but it was because I was so keen. He was like, "Can you?" And I'll be like, "Yep. What do you need?" And then whatever he needed, I was just so keen. And then all the people he recommended work with me, I just did the same thing. And honestly, yeah, that led to a lot of other things, right? And a lot of them was a learning curve of me being like, oh, I didn't enjoy that. But maybe that's what it's supposed to feel like. Maybe it's not supposed to be good all the time. But now I'm realizing, no, it can be good all the time. You know, but I didn't have the chips in my hand to do that at the time. I just had to say yes to everything.
Have to go through those trenches.
Yeah, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. And now that I'm here, I'm so, because time's limited and I'm learning that every day. Time is precious. And I feel like the older we get, the faster time moves. So I'm like, man, I can only do so much every week. So I'm going to pick my favorites every time. So whenever someone pops up that I'm like, I think I would really enjoy that. And you know what is crazy is that our gut feeling is so like you know, when, I don't know, if I'm thinking like if you go into a fight, you kind of have a feeling whether you're going to win or not, whether you're going to do well or not. And usually that feeling's right. When you get a gut feeling that you're underprepared, that's usually right. So then usually I get a gut feeling when someone asks me to do something. If I say yes and I get a bad gut feeling, you know, then I'm like, I don't know, you know, and it's gotten to the point now where it's like, I used to say yes if it was like if there's a bag's a bag. But now it's like, I don't even fucking want the bag. Like like I said, got a roof, got a car, got a place to stay, like got friends, like got everything I need. I don't need a bag. I just want to enjoy what I do. So yeah, bro, like that, I feel like that's really important in life. And being able to kind of get that gut feeling and then make decisions based on that. And sometimes if it's like a 50-50 gut feeling, then I'll just try it. And then if I don't like it, I just won't engage in that again. Like, and I'm sure they feel the same way. If it's not a positive experience for both parties, you usually feel it.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like when you hang out with someone and you guys just don't click, you just don't click. It's fine. There's no beef. It's just like, you'll probably benefit from someone else more than you'll benefit from me because, you know, we're not clicking. And that's totally fine.
Welcome to the Martin Show First Ad Break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh? Have you had much support on your journey from friends, from whānau?
Yeah.
Like, were your parents supportive when you told them, like, I want to do this?
Yeah, it's buzzy because I've really connected with my parents, especially in the past few years. And now they're like, my mom made an Instagram. I feel kind of awkward about it because I'm like, oh, now she's going to see all my shit. Oh. But yeah, I have my day ones like Donnie, Nathan King, Sesh.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, he's one of my day ones, bro.
Wow.
That guy is the realest dude ever. And he's always given the best advice. The cool, like, man, some of the wisdom he has is crazy, man. And he's so real. And people, I guess, mix up him and his like online personality. But as a person, I can say right now, he's like one of the realest dudes I know. And he's always had my back. And I knew him through Donnie. Mikey Mays is another day one. I've known him since Donnie as well. And together we were like this crew called Juvie back in the day. And that's still my laptop password. Yeah. It's just, you know, that's just how it's been. Yeah. But those guys and then Sam V, like, oh man, there's so many people I couldn't name off the top of my head, but like, yeah, like I've a really cool circle of friends that support everything I do and just understand. I think a lot of things to do with friendship is understanding. Because a lot of people, I hear stories of people getting mad for like friends not hanging out or reaching out and stuff. And it's like, we're adults, bro. Like you just got to understand that sometimes life gets in the way And if I have the opportunity, I'll of course I'll hang out.
Yeah, bro.
It's not that I don't want to. It's not that I think I'm too cool. It's that I'm like, there's a lot of layers in life, and I got to protect myself from sinking the ship. Got to stay afloat. Yeah, and sometimes that means not hanging out. But
It does get harder as you get older.
But my real friends understand that, and I'm sure you have friends too, where you might have not spoken for a year, and then you hang out, and it feels like you just pick back right where you left off. And I'm so grateful to have like a huge circle of friends that support me like that before everything happened this year.
Yeah.
Because now sometimes I'm like a little iffy. I'm like, why are they messaging me now? Sometimes. But also I'm like, I'm grateful that they're messaging me now, and I welcome it wholeheartedly. And I adapt with whatever comes and just deal with things as they happen.
Yeah, bro. I think that's important because you mentioned earlier on, like you had this desire. You had like you said yes to everything. And
yeah, and a lot of people during that time said no when I reached out. And that same now the turntables have turned, and I feel like those same people are like down now. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I probably wasn't ready back then. Timing is everything. Like when things are supposed to happen, they'll happen. So like I don't care they didn't reply because I was probably shit. I was probably whack, which I was, And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, fuck, I'm so glad that I didn't do a session with them back then, because they would have come out being like, oh, this guy was whack, and I would agree. Whereas now I'm like, I'm glad I'm tapping on these certain people now because I feel like I can do them justice. And I'm like, yeah, appreciate the support and grateful for the opportunities always.
If you had any advice to someone sort of coming up or wanting to get into your line of work, what would you say to them, bro?
Do something. Honestly, just do something. Like if you know what you want to do, do something and surround yourself with people that inspire you. I'm inspired by my friends. I'm grateful and I'm inspired by them, and watching them work, it's some healthy competition, because it's like I get FOMO when I see things happen with my friends. I'm like, oh, I want to be in that fucking session. But then I'm like, fuck, that's so good for them. Like, good on you, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
And there's so many instances where that tall poppy thing comes in, which I actually haven't really experienced too much of it, but I've seen it happen in real time, where it's like, something good happens and people are like, oh, he's not even that good. It's like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Why are you cutting down your bro right now? Like, help him, bro, Because if you support him while he's like on the rise, he's going to remember that and he's going to have your back. Whereas if you're cutting him down and then 2 months later, you're like, hey, bro, I'm so, like, you're doing so good. Like, I always knew you always have that guy. Always knew you could have done that.
Yeah.
I always believed, no, you didn't. Shush. You know what I mean? Like, there's always people that will try to cut you down. And I don't know, just if your bro's doing well, support them. If you're doing well, the ones that support you, remember them. And then just do something. And try, be open to doing different things. Be open to change. Be open to adapting, because life will never stay the same. Like, like look at these tariffs. Maybe this time next year, iPhones will cost $4,000. Who knows? Maybe China will make iPhones that are $100. You saw that? You saw that? Now they can like duplicate whatever. So, you might just have Teslas that are like $10,000. Who knows?
Edy, what are you sort of struggling with now then, bro?
I'm navigating a few things. I probably won't say it on camera, but what can I say? I'm navigating, balancing, because I took a break from teaching. I'm navigating, balancing that. Obviously, I was late to fucking class, so I was struggling with the balance. I think it's always finding balance in life is always a challenge, but a healthy one. Because otherwise life would be boring without a challenge. And so this year, the biggest challenge so far, one of the biggest challenges so far has been navigating like balancing school with music. Oh, the other one is traveling. I can't go overseas during school time. So that's been hard. Can't leave for that long. And then, but I've booked like Sydney in June. So it's like, it's just for like a week, you know?
Yeah.
I can't leave for that long anymore. So that's been a challenge. But then it's like, fuck, the studio lives and all that stuff is doing pretty good. I don't really need to go anywhere. Like Timberland fucking hopped on the live and I'm in fucking New Zealand in my studio. You know what I mean? Like you don't really need to go anywhere. But the experience is cool. I missed that experience a little bit. Yeah, so the struggle, not a struggle, but the challenge is kind of just not traveling as much and balancing school with music. But I love all of those things. So I have no complaints. I love life the way it is.
Well, while you've got this momentum, I guess going forward, how important is like staying true to yourself and not listening to
everything.
Everything.
That's everything. But don't get confused with like staying true to yourself and then like when you're on the grind, you just have to say yes to everything. I think there's a moment where you can start being more true to yourself. But sometimes in that initial stage, it's like, if you don't say yes to this, someone else will, and they're going to get the opportunity and they'll climb. You know, when you're on the grind, you're on the grind. It doesn't matter what you want. You just fucking do it. But then once you do it and you climbed and then you have chips on your side, that's when you're like, now I can, it's like, let's say you want a Tesla or you want a fucking Aston Martin. You can't just say like, I just want that car. You can't get it though. You can't afford it. But there'll be a time in your career when after you do the grinding, you lay the groundwork, now you can afford to stay true to yourself. But that takes time sometimes. And then, but also for some people that happens like this. And then I think the challenge for those people is maintaining that because they didn't have to do the groundwork. So they don't know how to do the consistency part. So they're just reacting to the boom, shoot up, one hit. And then it's like, but how do we sustain it? And then it's just like a steady drop. Whereas it's like, I don't know, steady is better.
I was just going to ask you, you'd rather that? The steady climb as opposed to an
better
instant
to the
climb?
mental.
Yes, bro.
Because again, it's like if you go back to, I don't know, your last fight and you get that massive dopamine rush, you go from this to that really quick and then you get the come downs, right? Yeah, we all get that. But then if you think with a steady mindset, it eases into it. And the whole journey itself, it's like, man, I see videos sometimes about like, you know, if you just always got what you wanted, you actually would be miserable because you didn't have to work for it. Let's say you're like, I want a Tesla. Boom, you get a Tesla. Oh, you know, when you get a car or you get something that you want, you're like, what do I do now? You kind of feel confused because you're like, fuck, all I've ever wanted was this and now I have it. What do I fucking do now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, brother. Because we all want that thing. We want that instant.
But actually you don't realize, and this is what I'm appreciative of being like an immigrant and having to watch my family work from the ground up, is I've seen the journey is the thing that's beautiful. It's the working for it part that makes the whole thing satisfying. Because let's say you climb a hill and it takes you fucking 9 hours, or you, like my bro did like Mount Taranaki and he, like, you know, that shit takes like 6 to 10 hours. It's like that whole climbing part makes the top satisfying. Because if you just took like a car, well, you can't, but let's say you just took like a helicopter to the top, it doesn't feel that great. It's like you see the view, you're like, okay, I saw the view. But then if you climbed up the mountain, you're like, fuck, I remember how hard that was. I fucking lost a toe climbing this mountain. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, it's like, I've grinded 14 years to be where I am at now. And it feels so good. Not the destination, but that whole journey is so fulfilling. And I feel like being in that is so much more important than, I want this, boom, I have it. Yeah, you know? Because when you train for a fight, you train every day. And then when you win the fight, you're like, what makes it satisfying is knowing that you showed up every day at 5 a.m. or whatever time. I know the boxing trainings start real early, right? Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, so it's like then you have the whole memory of, I did this every day for fucking 3 months just to get on that stage and beat this guy up. And it feels good, not because I won the fight, but because I prepared myself and that whole journey. And I feel like I'm a better fighter now because of that journey.
I've earned it.
You've earned it. And, I feel like, people that just pay to win, it's like, yeah, you win, but how do you feel though? Like everybody else thinks you're the man, but how do you really feel? It's like you're missing the whole journey. Like that whole journey is what makes it beautiful.
What scares you now, bro? What's your biggest fear?
Losing my hearing, and honestly, if I get a little deeper, being alone. Like not in the sense that just being alone at night, but just being lonely. Yeah. Because my life is really hectic and busy. And often I sometimes I get a bit anxious, like, fuck, I wonder if my friends think that I'm neglecting them. But then I just have to remind myself, like, we're all adults and the real ones will stay because I love my friends and I know that the ones that love me back will stay through it all, But those two things are probably my top. So I don't go to a lot of live concerts, live events because honestly, I get anxious, bro. I stand in the venue and all I can think about is I'm going deaf, and then I won't be able to work.
Wow.
I'm going to lose everything that I care about because if I lose my hearing, I lost everything. My whole career is based on my hearing,
Oh my God.
So then I go to support my friends. I have earplugs in, but then that dulls the experience. So then I'll take them out, but then I get anxious. So I can't win. But I'll go sparingly. Like the events that I really want to go to, I'll still go to. I'll just be mindful, take air breaks. Otherwise, man, afterwards it kind of sounds muffled. I get scared, bro. I'm like, I wonder if I wake up tomorrow and it'll still be like this. And then I'm fucked.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So that's one of my biggest fears. And my friends know I don't really like going to live things.
Yeah. Bro, I think the not being lonely one, I think that'll be relatable to a lot of individuals, brother.
Yo.
And I feel like everyone has a passage in their life where they have a lonely chapter where...
Have you seen that Bohemian Rap City movie, the Queen movie?
I know the one that you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
It's worth watching. And even like... not really the Elvis movie, but yeah, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. It's like basically like Freddie Mercury pretty much has the world in his hands. Like he's everything he wants. But in the process, he pushed everybody away. Fuck, sometimes I imagine myself in that position and it's scary, bro. It's like, I don't want to be in a position 30 years from now where I have everything my career needs and no people. It's like a garden with no flowers, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a little conscious of that. So then I make the conscious effort to tick those 3 boxes so I'm not neglecting my friends or my family, you know what I mean? Like those are so important to me.
It's a work on for me too, bro. Again, going
it's
back
hard,
to balance.
bro, because
hard,
life
bro.
is fucking full on.
It's hard.
But making a conscious effort is always good for that.
Where you're at now, is that the final or the ultimate sort of destination for yourself?
No, I think there's always room. I'm always growing and I always want to keep growing. But I'm happy. I'm content with the way things are. And I welcome everything that comes. Yeah. Like that's kind of the mindset I have now, which I think is it comes with age, I think as well. You know what I mean? Like if we think back to when we were 20, way different, eh? It's like, I just want to do the biggest thing and like, I just want to fucking achieve everything. And now you're like, life's pretty good. And actually you notice that when things fucking move like Bitcoin, it's actually not that comfortable.
Wow.
It's like you want something that's steady. You want a safe stock. And then you just want to kind of like explore around that. You don't want to be volatile because that's how you get sick.
Bro, we got some fire off questions for you, brother.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Probably that everything is temporary. And so, let things come and let things go.
Worst advice you've ever received?
Yeah, I don't know. My friends and my family, they generally pretty on like with their advice. And I don't really ask for advice from people that I don't know either. Yeah.
There it is right there.
Because if they don't know you, how are they supposed to advise you on anything? Yeah. But worst advice is probably any relationship advice is bad advice because only you know your own relationship with a lover or a partner. And if you're asking your friends, I've learned that the hard way. If you ask your friends about relationships, they tend to gravitate towards the negative and then they actually start thinking bad about that person. And then you're actually sabotaging your own relationship. So bad advice, I feel like just don't ask for relationship advice. That's bad advice, I reckon. Unless it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't bring your own relationship to anybody else.
Who do you know that we should know?
Who do I know that you should know? Sammy V. He's
Sammy
killing
V,
it
brother.
at the moment.
See you soon, cuzzy.
Yeah.
Future Edy, 5-10 years, where do you want to see yourself, brother?
Man, honestly, I just want to be doing the same thing. Like I still want to be making music. And other than that, I'm open to whatever. Yeah. I just want my family to be healthy, my friends to be healthy and happy. And I want to be making music. That's all I know. Everything else is kind of like whatever happens, happens, you know?
My final question, brother.
Yo.
Younger Edy. Any age you want, what's the one thing you want to tell him, bro?
I didn't really grow up listening to that much music because I was classically trained. So it was like fucking a lot of Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin. But I had my first, you know those Nokia phones that slided up with the number pads? That was my first phone in, I think, year 8. And I got that when I went back to China to visit my extended family. My dad bought me one and yeah, it was cheap over there. And then it got stolen at school, bro. I went to St. Peter's at the time, and at athletics day, someone took it out of my bag, and I was like, "Where the fuck's my phone? It's gone." But then bro, it had to be like things happen for a reason. One day I'm walking on through school, I see the guy with my fucking phone, bro, and he had engraved his initials on the phone, and I was like, "Nah, bro, that's my phone," because they were like Asian Chinese calligraphy on like certain parts. I'm like, "Nah, that's from fucking China, brother. Like, that's my phone, bro." Ended up getting it back, bro. But when I got it back, all the Eminem albums, Fergie, Rihanna, you name it, all this music I got exposed to, it was just on my phone when I got it back, and that's how I discovered music.
Wow.
I was like, "What is this?" And it was like a feeling of, because I was quite young, I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be listening to this, but I like it so much.
Oh my God.
You know how Eminem raps, bro?
Yeah,
Some of the shit that he says is back in the days, like, was unwired, bro. So I was like, oh, what is this? That was my first experience with like real, like not real music, but the music that we are into, pop culture.
Yeah, cuz.
And then ever since then, it was like ripping music off YouTube, infrared Bluetoothing songs on the bus. Yeah. But that's one moment that it's like, if that didn't happen, I probably don't know where I'd be. Because the only reason I'm into like popular culture and things like music here is because of that. Yeah.
Bro, I love how, you know, you've had this 3-4 month stint of getting that acknowledgement that younger Edy has craved all this time. And you're at a place now in your life where you're just completely content with what you have, what's going on. And the future is so exciting, brother.
Yo, yeah, it is. It is.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast, my bro,
mean,
where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest, not knowing who he or she is.
Oh.
The question for you today is, there is 2. What is your why?
My why is to leave this world making some kind of positive influence of some kind. Yeah, I think that's all it is. It's like some kind of thing that makes someone smile or help them in some kind of way. That's why I teach. Yeah, I think that's my why, is to just do something that leads someone in a positive way.
Are you implementing that into your life now?
Yes, every day.
Every day.
Every day.
My bro's made my brother and I smile very much this morning.
Hell yeah.
Here with Lou, bro.
Yo, sure.
Thank you for being here, my brother. Where can the people find you?
Edy on the beat, EDY on the beat, everywhere. That's my tag for every social media platform.
Nah, brother.
Yo.
Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, good, my bro.
shit, G.
We will drop Edy on the Beats below all his details, and make sure you subscribe to The Martin Show as well. We'll leave our underscore stuff right here, and we're going to be back next week for another episode.
Let's go.
Kia ora, whānau. Thank you.
Kia ora.